Ever get that, like, kind of knot in your stomach right before a big presentation? Or maybe those thoughts, the ones that just race around and keep you up all night.
Oh, yeah.
We're diving into all that today. It's anxiety. We want to understand it, maybe figure out how to, like conquer it, or at least make it a bit easier.
Right.
And to get super deep into it, we're using this YouTube video. It's called Rewiring the Anxious Brain, Neuroplasticity, and the Anxiety Cycle. Anxiety Skills, #21. From Therapy in a Nutshell, a pretty cool channel.
That's a good one, yeah.
So get ready. We're going to break down all this brain stuff, how it handles anxiety, and we'll bust some myths too. And by the end, you'll have some real steps you can actually start using to hopefully find a bit more calm.
It's not about some mystical stuff. This is really all about the science, like how our brains actually work. You've probably heard of neuroplasticity.
Oh, yeah.
The idea that our brains aren't just fixed. They're always kind of rewiring based on what we go through, experiences.
Yeah. It's like that study, those London cab drivers. Their brains literally change shape from memorizing those crazy street maps.
Exactly.
Wild, right?
Totally. And what it shows us is powerful. If our brains can change a handle, like navigating London, they can totally change how they handle anxiety, too. It's not a life sentence, you know what I mean?
Okay, so rewiring is possible. Got it. But doesn't anxiety have, like, a purpose? Sometimes isn't it good to be a little cautious?
That's such an important point. Anxiety itself isn't bad, no. It's there to help us survive, like a warning signal. The trick is knowing, like figuring out when it's helpful and when it's gone too far.
They have this perfect example in the video, a client who is terrified of radiators.
Oh, wow.
Like, I get being cautious around a hot one, but full-blown fear. That's anxiety messing up, right?
Totally. It's classic disordered anxiety, feeling like you're in danger when you're actually safe. The other big giveaway is when it starts to mess with your life, your job, relationships, just being able to do, daily stuff.
So, think about your own life for a sec. Have you hit that point, that kind of anxiety? What's it done? How has it impacted you?
This is where it gets really cool. The video talks about this anxiety cycle and understanding it. That's how we break free.
Yeah.
So you experience something, right? And you decide safe or dangerous. Those thoughts, they cause feelings, and then bam, we act based on those feelings. The problem is a lot of times that action is avoidance. And each time you avoid something you're scared of, it just makes the anxiety stronger.
It's like our brain is going, see, told you, dangerous, good thing we got out of there. Even if we know, logically, it wasn't a big deal.
Exactly that. Avoiding what scares us actually makes our brain even more sure that the fear is right. That's why getting this cycle, understanding it, is so important to rewiring those anxious pathways.
Okay, so we're stuck in this anxiety cycle. Our brains are basically getting wired for more and more anxiety. How do we break out, actually start to get free?
That's where facing our fears comes in. It's not about having no fear, though. It's about doing stuff even though you are scared. The video, it gives us 3 steps to start rewiring, and it all starts with knowing we can handle being uncomfortable.
All right, so step 1, it's what they call exposure hierarchy. Sounds kind of, I don't know, intense. What's it actually mean?
It's easier than the name, honestly. It's about taking the big fear and breaking it down into smaller steps. Like, say you're terrified of public speaking.
Right.
You wouldn't just jump onto a stage with 100 people. You'd start maybe practicing, like in a mirror, then with a friend and a small group. You get the idea. It's gradual. You expose yourself to the thing you're scared of, but in a way that's tough but not too overwhelming.
Okay, got it. Start small, build up, and our brain learns, hey, I can handle this.
Wait.
What's step 2 then?
Changing the rules. It's a whole mindset shift. You got to go from I can't because I'm anxious to I can do this even though I'm anxious. Courage isn't about no fear. It's about being willing, even when you are afraid.
So accepting anxiety, not trying to get rid of it totally. That's a big change for a lot of us. Isn't there a risk we get passive about our mental health? If we're just accepting it, I mean.
That's a really good point, yeah. And finding that balance, it's important. Acceptance isn't saying, okay, I give up anxious life forever. It's about seeing the anxiety, letting yourself feel it, but not judging yourself, and then choosing to move forward anyway.
Interesting.
It's like, hey, anxiety, I see you, but you don't run things.
Okay, yeah, I see how that shift, how powerful that could be. So we got our exposure hierarchy, we're changing the rules about anxiety.
Right.
What's the final step?
This is where it gets real. Step 3, just do it. Put it all into action, Start facing those fears, even if it's tiny steps. Remember, the goal isn't to have zero anxiety. It's about getting better at handling it, being able to function even when you feel anxious.
Sounds like consistency is key then. We're literally retraining our brains, which takes time and effort.
Totally. Think of it like exercise, building a muscle. The more we practice facing what scares us, the stronger those pathways get, the ones for courage, for resilience. And get this, the video doesn't stop there. It gives 10 more skills for handling those tough moments when you are facing your fears.
Ooh. Okay, color me intrigued. What are these anxiety-busting skills then? Lay 'em on me.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
And the video's big on therapy. It says that can give you structure support to really learn them. But just knowing the ideas, that could be huge. So first up, mindfulness. It's about being right here, right now, noticing your thoughts, your feelings, but no judging.
So instead of getting swept away by like all those what ifs and worst case scenarios, we're learning to, I don't know, ride the wave.
Exactly. Mindfulness helps us put space between us and the anxiety. Then we can choose how to respond instead of just reacting automatically. Next is acceptance. And this one might sound weird, but it's about acknowledging the anxiety, not fighting it.
That is interesting. Because most of us, we spend so much energy trying to push it away, you know? How does accepting it actually HELP?
Imagine pushing a beach ball underwater.
Yeah.
The more you push, the harder it comes back up. Resisting anxiety, it makes it stronger. But if we accept it, it's like finding calm in the middle of the storm. Saying, yeah, I feel this way, but it's okay. I can handle it.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. What's next on the list?
Skill 3 is about stepping back from those thoughts. It's called cognitive diffusion. They use this great metaphor in the video like, your thoughts are clouds passing by, you know. You don't have to grab each one and let it carry you off. You can just watch them go.
Oh, I like that image. Makes it feel less overwhelming for sure. So not getting tangled in the thoughts, learning to detach. What's the next skill?
This one's big picture. Getting clear on your values. Like figuring out what really matters to you in life. You see, when you know your values, it's like having a compass. It guides your actions, especially when you are anxious. You can ask yourself, is what I'm doing lining up with what I care about? If it is, that can give you courage to push through the hard stuff. And acting according to your values, that can actually make anxiety LSS over time.
Like a North Star, yeah. Guides you even when things are rough. This is fascinating. What else is on the list?
Skill number 5 is self-compassion. Being kind to yourself, understanding, especially when you're struggling. We're usually our own worst critics, and that just makes anxiety worse.
Instead of beating ourselves up for feeling anxious, we're giving ourselves a break.
Exactly. Self-compassion brings safety, security, helps you feel more able to handle those tough moments. And that leads right into skill 6, emotional regulation. This is about learning to manage those feelings well, not just battling them up, but understanding and choosing how to respond.
That sounds useful for everyone, not just folks dealing with anxiety.
Totally agree. And there are tons of techniques out there. Deep breathing, relaxing your muscles, mindfulness stuff. It's about finding what works for you.
We're on a roll. Skill number 7, hit me.
Assertiveness.
Yeah.
Saying what you need, setting boundaries. Clearly and respectfully, though. This one can be huge EE for anxiety, because when you're assertive, you're less likely to end up in those situations that trigger it in the first place.
It's about taking charge, right, of your life, your interactions, not feeling like you're just at the mercy of other people. What's next?
Number 8, problem solving. Sometimes anxiety, it comes from real problems, right? And when we feel like we can tackle those problems head on, that can help us feel less helpless.
Makes sense.
So instead of being overwhelmed, stuck, we take action, we find solutions.
Okay, last 2 skills then. What are they?
Number 9, relaxation techniques. This is about calming your body, A&D your mind. Could be anything, really. Deep breathing, meditation, yoga, even massage. And finally, number 10, this is super important. Get professional help. Sometimes we need a little extra help to deal with the harder stuff, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Wow, we've covered so much. I'm really seeing how these skills, they can all work together to change how we experience anxiety.
It's a toolbox. And every one of these tools can help you face those fears and start rewiring your brain for more calm, more confidence.
Oh, okay. We have really gone deep on this, haven't we?
We have.
From how our brains get wired for anxiety in the first place to all those skills, practical stuff to actually take back control.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is. But remember, you don't have to master it all at once.
Right.
The cool thing is you can pick and choose what tools, techniques really speak to you and just start trying them out.
It's like building an anxiety toolkit, personalized.
Totally.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And as you keep facing those fears, even tiny bits at a time, It's amazing how your brain starts to shift. It's not about never being afraid. It's about that courage muscle, building it up.
This whole rewiring idea.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
It is.
We're not stuck with like whatever anxious brain we we were born with or developed. We can actually change it, make a new, I don't know, mental landscape where anxiety has less control over us.
And that's possible because of neuroplasticity. Our brain's amazing ability to adapt to change. And it's happening all the time, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
But when we get it, when we understand how it works, we can choose how to change.
So not at the mercy of our anxiety anymore, but like we're the architects
Yes.
of our own brains.
I love that.
Pretty incredible when you think about it.
It really is. But it's a journey, not like a destination. There are going to be good days, bad days, times you're scared, times you feel like you've won. The key is to keep practicing, keep trying stuff out, and believe that you can change.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to walk away with? The most important thing to remember on this whole journey with anxiety?
You are not alone. Anxiety, it's human. And you have the strength, you have the resilience to get through it. Don't be afraid to ask for help either. Therapist, friend, even online, there are communities out there. You got this.
I love that. And hey, anyone listening, if you want to go even deeper, the full YouTube video we talked about, and the therapist also has a Udemy course. Tons of good stuff in there, really practical to help you along the way.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep rewiring that amazing brain of yours. You have the power to make life calmer, more fulfilling, one step at a time.
So well said.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
See you next time.
Catch you next time for another, hopefully fascinating look at being human.